Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. I trust that you are well today. It is, well, it's actually, but I won't tell you, it's actually the 20th of August, and we are here. It's Friday, and we're going to get one in on Friday to make sure we can complete the week. And our second YouTube video, two YouTube videos in a row. Yeah, baby. That's how you do it. Hey, listen, I want to make sure that before we get started, we cover some housekeeping. First of all, if you like what we do here, and if you want to support us, the best way, the very best way, if you're watching on YouTube, is to click the subscribe button and to click the notification bell. That way you know when we are posting and when we post on YouTube. And we're going to try to post more on YouTube for sure. Like I said yesterday, I was a little salty about YouTube taking down one of my videos and age restricting another one. Yeah, they age restricted the video of George Floyd, even after it had been up for everybody for months. But they looked back into the archives, into the annals of YouTube, way back into the annals of YouTube, and found an account that they have demonetized, this one, and decided they would age restrict the video, which makes it visible to even fewer people, which seems just mean because it wasn't like we were getting paid for it anyway. That just seems mean. But anyway, so I was a little salty. But we are going to move forward. We're going to move forward until they make us stop. We're going to move forward until they stop us. So that's the methodology that we are invoking moving forward. Today, we're going to talk about Joe Biden and the White House and this wobbly Afghanistan address and this whole methodology of how they've approached this. And they're not pleasing, which is amazing to me. They're not pleasing anybody. Everybody is kind of hacked off. Even the people who have propped up this mess are starting to prop it up and starting to see cracks in the armor. And you have to wonder why. You have to wonder why now they're saying anything about it. Why they're doubting the president now. When he was going to be the adult, he was going to be America's back, baby. That guy doesn't seem like it. And it doesn't seem like they're really holding on to that mentality anymore. Doesn't seem like it. Not at all. So we can talk a little bit about that. And we'll talk about what's happening here in my home state. The governor a few months ago issued an executive order forbidding school districts from requiring masks for kids in school when we open school this fall. There are a few districts that have decided to go counter to the governor's mandate or executive order, and the Department of Education is seeking to withhold funds. Now, I understand withholding funds. It doesn't hurt the school board. It hurts the kids. Well, everything that you do to try to rein in out of control school boards ends up hurting the kids. Out of school school boards hurt the kids. So this idea that they only have the best interests of the children involved is not always true. We're finding it's not always true. And we're going to talk about that too. Alrighty. And in the meantime, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. All right, welcome back. We appreciate you being here today. We appreciate you listening on whatever medium you're listening to the podcast on. Hey, listen, to me a favor. Send me an email and let me know. I know that iTunes has turned into Apple Podcast, I think. So there is an iTunes like we remember iTunes. So let me know how you're listening to the program. If you're watching the YouTube video, send me an email too at fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com. That will be very, very helpful. That way we know which way to go, which way to push, which way to get out there and, and take the rod and reel and my little Zebco reel. Zebco. That's all. I can't operate the other ones. I don't know how they work. It seems hard. All right. Speaking of things seeming difficult, obviously foreign policy is something that we kind of thought that Joe Biden would struggle in, and we knew that your girl Kamala Harris would be way in over her weave. Here, did I say weave? Did I imply the vice president wears a weave? I didn't I? But I don't know if she wears a weave or not. But it seemed funny to say. But she is way in over her weave for sure. But it's getting worse. It is getting worse, my friends. Spencer is probably through a few cases of whiskey after covering the State Department, Pentagon, and White House scrambling over the collapse of Afghanistan. My friend Matt Vespa writes, "It's gaslighting gone wrong. It's a failure, just like Biden's policy in the region. We have Americans trapped behind enemy lines. There's one of many examples that expose the Biden White House of being wholly, entirely, incredibly unprepared for this. And now we know that there were multiple intelligence reports and the State Department memos that warned the nation that the nation was on the verge of hell on earth as the Taliban rapidly gained strength. Land gains were inevitable, and the Biden policy folks didn't take it seriously. Biden's team even tried to hide in the bunker when Kabul fell to the Taliban. Biden and his press secretary Jen Psaki, they were both on vacation. Y'all remember they went on vacation. I'm on vacation. Don't talk to me about Afghanistan. I am on vacation. Don't talk to me about Afghanistan because I am on vacation. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Fox News, Jen Griffin on President Biden's speech. She writes, "I'm having a hard time digesting what we've heard because I couldn't fact check it fast enough in real time because there were so many misrepresentations on what was happening on the ground. They were telling so many lies. Just were they lies or was it misinformation that's really misdirection? I mean, there was a lot of misdirection. A lot of it. So it is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing how many misrepresentations and stuff that's just not, frankly, that's just not true. Kids, stuff that is just not true. That is amazing. That, it's amazing, kind of, I guess. But I guess it shouldn't be amazing to you. It shouldn't be amazing to us. It shouldn't. Because I said earlier, I said at the beginning of this presidency, everything we see will be for public consumption. Everything we see will be for public consumption. They'll be let me move this camera just a little bit. There we go. I don't know if that's better or worse, but I don't know. Maybe we'll move it down a little bit, move it up a little bit. Hang on a second. YouTube, this is exactly what you don't do on YouTube because it's really, really unprofessional. No, it doesn't make any damn difference. Anyway, so that's what we're dealing with. That is what we're dealing with. And it isn't even, like just Fox News who's going after him. Fox News, Schmucks News. You've got the people who are propping him up going after him. Just minutes after President Biden failed to offer any real explanation of why things have gone sideways in Afghanistan amid the U.S. withdrawal, the Pentagon officials proved that much of what Biden told the American public was untrue. Just minutes. Biden has this announcement, and then the Pentagon says, nah, not so much. Uh, it's crazy. It is. Despite standing at the president's side while Biden declared, we know of no circumstances where American citizens carrying an American passport have trouble getting to Hamad Karazi Airport. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reportedly told members of the House of Representatives that Americans are in fact being beaten by the Taliban in Kabul. You hear what I'm saying? So I guess that's a little trouble. I don't know whether, hey, listen, they're not having much trouble as long as they're willing to take that ass whooping. As long as they're willing to take that ass whooping, it's okay. They're doing pretty well. They're taking that ass whooping, and life is good. They're not getting through. As a matter of fact, there are people on the ground there that are saying that if they hold an American passport, some of them are being beaten. Some of them are being most of them are being turned back. It's very, very difficult to get to the airport to get out. And even if you get to the gates of the airport, the Taliban is friggin' everywhere. They are everywhere. They're like savoir-faire. For my good friend who picked up on the Blazing Saddle reference from the last video, savoir-faire is, say it. There you go. And the Taliban is everywhere and making it very, very difficult, making it damned impossible in certain places for for these people to get out. In fact, Biden's speech was so riddled with errors, everybody was calling him out. From ABC News to the Communist News Network of CNN, reporters from all over were debunking Biden's claim of calm and order amid total chaos. We're talking about CNN, ABC, everybody, CBS, of course, Fox News, everybody. So one of the things that also he said is that that allies aren't questioning, our credibility in the region. It's like they haven't. It's like Biden thinks and the administration thinks that we would actually believe. We actually believe that the rest of the world has decided, no, it's fine. Everything's going well. No problem. America's back, baby. We got an adult in the White House. Are you serious? Well, not so much. Hold on there, Kimosabe. This is again from, who's this? This is from our dear friend Matt Vespa. Drip, drip, drip. With every passing hour, we have more damning evidence that the Biden administration simply didn't care about the conditions going on the ground in Afghanistan, which has led to this frenetic, ignominious exit from the country. Yes, our longest war is over, and we lost. But not before Joe Biden decided to do his rendition of The Fall of Saigon as a bookend to this conflict. On July 8th, he promised that he promised that the Afghan government could sustain itself. 5 days later, a State Department memo painted a vastly different picture. Biden apparently ignored it. He just, maybe didn't see it. Maybe no one showed it to him. Maybe didn't know what it was. What is this? What is this? It's an ice cream order, sir. What is this right here? What is this? What What is this you saying here about it? No, it's for ice cream. Just sign it. I love ice cream. Ice cream is delicious. I love ice cream and just sign it. Thank you, Mr. President. Was it a scene like that? It's crazy. Now we're dealing with the Taliban in control and 10 to 15,000 Americans trapped in the country. We have no plans to get them out other than to wish them well on the way to the airport in Kabul. That's littered with Taliban checkpoints. We're trusting a terror organization will not harm our citizens. We're just like, oh, they'll be cool, they'll be fine. They'll flash an American passport, get their ass beat, and then they won't be able to leave the country. It'll be all right, though. It'll be all right. Those Taliban dudes are okay. What? We're trusting a terror organization with not harming our citizens. That's Biden's diplomacy. Kabul is the only place where those who seek to flee can go and pray to get on a chartered flight out of the country. Biden did not give another address about the situation, but it was a lie. Oh, excuse me, he did give one but it was a lie. This chaotic exit does kill our credibility. Our allies are infuriated, and for good reason. We kept them in the dark. Well, Biden did. United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson tried to reach Biden for hours. How's that possible? Let me get close to you. How in the hell is it possible that Boris Johnson can't get a call through to Joe Biden for hours? How's that possible? Maybe the president was taking his nap. Maybe he was taking his evening constitutional. Maybe he was taking a dump. You know, when you get to a certain age, taking a dump is super important. You got to go when it's happening, you got to go with it. You can't go, oh, I'll go later, because there may not be a later to go. So I don't know what he was doing that Boris Johnson couldn't get a hold of President Biden for hours. As a matter of fact, he ignored him for 36 hours. And now we know why members of NATO are so mad at Biden. He totally lied to them. In June, he promised them that the United States forces would remain to keep the situation stable in Afghanistan as NATO withdrew its forces. The UK thought they could keep their embassy open as a result. Well, flash forward to August. And now it's a wasteland from Mad Max movies. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's a monstrous story. Alex Whitman tweeted this. Huge story. Leaked memo shows Biden promised Boris Johnson and the G7 leaders. Remember the G7? They were all out there. They were socially distanced and had their masks on for the pictures, and then they were all hugged up against each other later. Now everybody's tongue kissing Angela Merkel out the door. Yeah, see you later, baby. Well, everybody but, Justin Trudeau, because I don't think he likes girls. Anyway, the leaked memo shows that Biden promised Boris Johnson and the G7 leaders in June that the United States would maintain enough security presence in Afghanistan that would keep Kabul safe. And then he failed with that commitment. He just blew it off. So that goes a long way to explaining why the UK and European Union are so angry with Biden and why no other NATO countries were caught short. Sekunda Kermani, another blue check on Twitter. Horribly chaotic scenes outside the compound in Kabul, where British forces are evacuating some Afghans. Many struggling to get through as thousands of desperate people without travel permission also turned up. I mean, it's a cluster, you know what. Again, we were told this White House would be filled with policy aces. America's back, baby. The adults are back. That leadership would be resorted rather. The adults were back in the driver's seat, and diplomacy was back. That's what Biden tweeted during the G7 summit, where he was also bitch slapped by the French. Marcon, really? Not so much. This whole crisis has undercut all the core tenets that this White House was supposedly to embody. It's an incompetent mess. The intelligence community, the lack of intelligence community, the Pentagon, which is the pentagram as far as I'm concerned, and Joe Biden are all saying different things about Afghanistan. It's a grade A cluster, you know what. Just like what's happening in Kabul. It's a damn shame, y'all. But so I was talking to my wife about it, and she said, this is what people said they wanted. Well, at least you're not getting mean tweets. At least you're not getting mean tweets. We'll be back right after these messages. All right, we're back. Thank you ever so much for spending some time with us. Hey, listen, before we go, I want to make sure that I do this. I want to make sure that the folks on YouTube can see this t-shirt. It says, "No, we will not comply." Let me back up a little bit. I showed the t-shirt yesterday. I'm going to show it almost every time I go on if I can remember. Yeah, I wore it last night, but I wore it over another shirt. It's brand new. I haven't worn it outside, so don't get all, yeah, you wore that yesterday. Yeah, for about 15 minutes while I was doing the program. Yeah, no, we will not comply. And it has noncompliantmovie.com written on the bottom here because half the proceeds from this particular shirt, there's some other no shirts on the website, but for the ones that have the noncompliantmovie.com written here, half of what we sell them for is going to the movie project. Now the movie's already up, it's already out, but there's always, darn well that a lot of that to get that going came right out of the Hall's savings account. So we're going to try to bless them with a thank you for a fantastic job. Chris Ham is amazing, absolutely amazing. Oh, and something else. This came in the mail yesterday, as well as my shirt. This book, Black Eye for America: How Critical Race Theory is Burning Down the House. This book is by Dr. Carol Swain and Christopher Shore, PhDs, and this book is a primer and a call to action on what to do about critical race theory. There's a lot of conversation on the internet about critical race theory, and there's a lot of back and forth. And this is your guide to critical race theory, written to be understood, as Dr. Swain talked about. And you can watch the interview. The interview is not on YouTube; it's on our website, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. Excuse me, fightbackmedia.com. Fightback Media TV. That's it. Wait a minute. Fightbackmediatv.com. Fightbackmediatv.com. The interview is up on that page with myself and Dr. Swain, so you want to check that out for sure. And you want to go to carolswain.com and buy this book. Buy the damn book. Yes, I got an autographed copy, so bite me. Alrighty. All right, one more for the road. Lido. Anyway, the Florida Education Department on Friday ordered 2 school districts in the state of Florida to lift their mask mandates or face withheld funds after they defied the state's ban on face covering requirements. Within the next 48 hours, 2 days, school boards in Broward and Alachua counties are required to offer an opt-out option for face coverings or have a portion of their state funds withheld. The districts reimposed the face covering requirements for students and staff despite Governor Ron DeSantis' recent signing of an executive order that bans mask mandates. DeSantis has said that parents should decide whether their child should mask up while attending school. Seems crazy that, parents would decide this kind of stuff for their children, right? School board members of districts have willingly and knowingly violated the rights of parents by denying the option to make health care decisions for their children, a blatant violation of of the Parents' Bill of Rights, which Governor DeSantis signed into law on June 29th, 2021. That's what the State Board of Education said. The Florida Department of Education said it will hold an amount equal to 1/12 of the total annual compensation of the school board members who voted to impose the unlawful mask mandates on a monthly basis if the districts fail to drop their mask mandates. These public officials have sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Florida. We cannot have government officials pick and choose what laws they want to follow, the Commissioner of Education, Richard Corcoran, said in a statement. These are the initial consequences to their international refusal to follow the state law and the state rule to purposely and willingly violate the rights of parents, he continued. Now, why are they doing this? Do they really see? A little bit of skepticism goes a long way. Are they really that concerned with the health of the children? The answer is no. These school districts and these school boards are these little leftist enclaves, these little leftist fiefdoms. Why are they leftist fiefdoms? Because you don't give a damn about school board elections. You care about Trump. You care about presidential elections. You vote every 4 years. And you don't know the person who on the school board who is responsible for where your kids go to school. You don't have any earthly idea. And if you happen to know their name, you don't know anything more about them than their name. So they become these little leftist enclaves, and the most left of the left, because they are educational enclaves. The people who really believe in their heart of hearts, they know better than the parents about what is for their kids. And some parents are like, yeah, well, you're the teacher. You know best. Because some parents are dipsticks, that's why. And they've abdicated their responsibility to educating their kids or taking care of their kids. So school boards, there's 3 of them, and one of them that's not mentioned in this article is the one that's where I live, that's right outside that window there, basically have decided these are not your children. These children belong to us. The children belong, according to the left, the children belong to the collective. They don't belong to you. They belong to the collective. And so the educated people, teachers, administrators, blah, 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 they get to decide. I don't know if I like that. But President Joe Biden, however, has emphasized, no matter how screwed up Afghanistan is and the rest of the world and is on fire, this is what they're choosing to focus on. President Joe Biden, however, emphasized that the federal government will reimburse local school districts who make efforts in, quote, safely reopening schools by issuing mask mandates for kids. Here's what the POTUS tweeted. Well, here's what was tweeted for him, more than likely. Let me be clear. We will do everything. You know what? Excuse me. Let me go down a rabbit trail. I hate one of the phrases that I want to go away by the end of this year is "let me be clear," because it seems like right after "let me be clear" is a bunch of lies. Let me be clear is white people for, see, what had happened was, my friend who was watching, who got the other reference yesterday, we'll get that one too. See, what had happened was, we will do everything we can to support local school districts in safely reopening schools. American Rescue Plan funds can be used to backfill the salaries of the brave Florida school board members, superintendents, and other educators. So this money, again, this money is not going to the kids. It's going to the salaries and into the pockets of school board members. It doesn't have anything to do with we're trying to protect the kids and DeSantis is hurting the children. It doesn't have a damn thing to do about that. It doesn't have anything to do about that. Cochran is targeting school board officials' compensation, and that ain't hurting the kids. So this idea that withholding money from people on the school board, it's not hurting them. As a matter of fact, frankly, it's not hurting most of them because in most areas, school board is a part-time gig. I don't know how much, and I will tell you on Monday how much school board members get paid, but they don't get paid much because they don't deserve much. Let me write the note down. $ school board. Now, when I find out, I'm going to find out from where I live, which is the eighth largest school district in the country. So if anybody's getting paid any big bucks, it's these folks. It's insane, right? So what's happening is, let me tell you why this is happening, and then I'll let you go. Anything at all. Listen to me. Listen to me now, hear me later. Anything to damage Ron DeSantis. Anything. Anything to push back against Ron DeSantis. Anything. Because they're afraid of, and I love the left because they always say what they're afraid of, because they're afraid of this dude's going to be president in 2024. That's what they're afraid of. Ivy League education, military service, trophy wife, great kids, the boldness of Trump. Hail to the chief. Y'all get ready for it. My name is Willie Lawson. This has been the Morning Report, a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. Check out our interview with Carol Swain on fightbackmediatv.com, fightbackmediatv.com. It is eye-opening. You gotta check it out. Go get this book, carolswain.com. Get this book. It's called Black Eye for America: How Critical Race Theory is Burning Down the House. Check that out for sure. Go to the fightbackmedia.com website. Click on the banner across the top of the page. Make sure you get the go to No We Will Not Comply t-shirts. And it says here, noncompliantmovie.com. So all the t-shirts that say noncompliantmovie.com will give half of the proceeds to the Non-Compliant Movie project. Whew, that was a lot. And I should be able to say merch link in bio, but I can't say that. All right, well, until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.